I'm bringing for today's episode, but we're gonna talk about the most class, the bard.
What?
Guys, we're gonna talk about building a bard with 2024 core rules in 2020. We're gonna use core rules and build a bard. I wouldn't even say it's the most optimal way. It's my way. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what to do. I'm gonna give you nudges and directions and give you breakdowns, but at the end of the day, it is just a game. Do not freak out. Is this the most optimal build? Is the experienced players going to yell at me? The experienced players yell at you. Come to this video, timestamp this right now. This is for them. Bards love to chat. They love to gab. They love to yap. They are just talking your ear off. They're going to be very much focused in persuasion and deception. A lot of people do not like bards. Bards, they are just playing the field, all right? They're going out and dating everyone. That's what everybody assumes that everybody's going to play a bard as. You do not have to play it that way. There are plenty of other ways you could play it. Maybe they just want to collect stories and tell stories throughout their life. Maybe, what? Make them asexual. Be like, this is not happening. All right, first, let's talk about the stats. This is everybody's, I feel like, favorite part. At least it's my favorite part because I do the rolling for stats and you just get to roll a bunch of die a bunch of times. But anyways, in this example that I'm gonna be using here, we're gonna look at standard array. For the most part, you're going to want your bard to have high charisma. Bards are all, pen is mightier than the sword. They're all about talking and persuasion, so you want to make sure your charisma is high. Low. It would be kind of funny if it was very low. You're also probably going to want next highest in either Dex or Con. I would go Dex, but I know a lot of people prefer Con because it helps with health. But Dex is going to be helpful for your weapon attacks and your AC. So if I were to use the standard array, I feel so magical because Cam's gonna put it right here, is what the standard array that I would use would look like. I would probably put my dump stat in strength because you're going to want to focus more on strength most likely. But again, this is just an example. This is not the tried and true way to do it. Do it however the f you want. We're gonna go through all of the different subclasses. Guys, by the way, before I get started, if you haven't watched my video on how to build a barbarian, watch it. It's the first in this series. We're gonna be doing a video on every single class. We're gonna start out with College of Dance from the Player's Handbook. This one's really good if you are worried about the roleplay aspect of it because it's all through your body. Just dance it out at the table. You don't actually, because I'm assuming if you're worried about the role-playing aspect of it, you're not going to want to dance at the party. But opposed to something like the College of Eloquence, you're not going to necessarily have to be using that verbiage as much. You can be like, I'm just dancing my way through life. Dancing through life. I don't know the words next. Right before this, when I was like, I would dump strength, maybe don't do that. If this is the one that you're going to pick, maybe don't do that. Maybe dump something else. But anyways, they're so good at moving their body. You could use dexterity or strength for your attacks. So a little bit, they become so irresistible through dance. You will get the spell Odo's Irresistible Dance prepared. Pretty cool. And you can also give extra bonuses out on those bardic inspirations. So let's talk about the College of Lore now. Also from the Player's Handbook. Let me read it before I tell you more. So let's talk about College of Lore, Player's Handbook. Amazing. This one's funny because my siblings are literally College of Lore bards. They play music and they make you contemplate life with everything that they say because they just love learning. Literally, they are fresh word teachers. So they love learning and their goal is to teach others through their music. As the bard grows in this college, they are so smart. They can take spells from any class, which is crazy. It's so dope. But that is College of Lore. Let's talk about College of Glamour. Also from the Player's Handbook. I think we're doing all the Player's Handbook first. I think that would just be easiest. all about the Feywild, baby. Let's go. So, bards who go down this path, they harness the Fey. They harness that chaotic Fey energy in their life. They use it to give a little bolster of HP, of hit points to their allies. They can even use it to move away from an enemy without provoking an opportunity attack. So, pretty cool. That kind of Fey chaotic energy that they are harnessing slowly starts to change them over time as they grow in this college and they study it more. It gives you a chance to charm your opponents, making them unable to attack you, giving you the chance to cast Command as a bonus action. I love the Feywild because it's so chaotic. I love chaos. Nice. Next up we have College of Valor, our last one from the player's handbook. Not last one yet. Don't click away. Stories! Who doesn't love a good story? This does. And these college bards. These ones are all about telling stories of past and fallen heroes and traveling far and wide to tell these stories. They are traveling far and wide to see their heroes and meet their heroes, and because of these travels, they get to have more proficiencies in armor and weapons than a normal bard does. These bards in battle, they inspire others through their stories of these heroes that have passed or that they've heard of. They're able to expend a bardic inspiration slot and add it onto an attack roll. They can also, when they cast a spell, they can take a bonus action for a weapon attack. So they use these stories to inspire them and bolster others through the battles. Let's go to our next one. College of Creation from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. They believe that the universe, the chaotic ass universe itself, is a song of creation. And they pull on the song of creation to inspire. I guess they all inspire from music, but I feel like this one's even more so inspiring from music. They all like music, but this one's like, the world is music. Very poetic. So, in addition to a bardic inspiration, they call upon the song, and they are able to get a Mote of Potential, which does thunder damage when they deal an attack. When you're re-rolling, you are able to choose which of the rolls you take, not just being stuck with the second option. And then it also gives you temporary hit points on saving throws, which is pretty cool. These bards use the song to help them create non-magical items, and as they grow in their power and levels, they can create more and more of them and even learn how to animate them. They're like Beauty and the Beast. They have little singing cabinets. That one.
Is that the only thing the bard can make? Is a singing cabinet? Are there more options?
I guess you can maybe make the teacups. You don't have to make a cabinet. It's just an option. College of Eloquence is up next, also from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
I feel like all bards are pen is mightier than the sword. They like the musical theater. They like the speaking. But this part, I feel like it is the epitome of the pen is mightier than the sword. Any roll when they're making a perception or deception check, they roll a 9 or below, they treat it as a 10, which is crazy. It's like hard to fail when everything's at least a 10. It's crazy. As they grow in their powers and they learn how to use that vocab and really inspire the others around them, their bardic inspiration becomes stronger. From when it's used on a saving throw or a check or something and it still fails, instead of that bardic inspiration being used, it stays and they get another chance to use it until it succeeds. If eventually, as they grow with enough power, once they reach a certain point, if that person succeeds, they can use a bonus action to transfer that inspiration to another creature, not yourself, a little caveat, but that's okay. But you can transfer it to another creature without using bardic inspiration slot, which is wild. They're all about they're all kind of support to me, but this one very much is all about supporting your teammates and getting the best use out of that bardic inspiration that you can. All right, College of Spirits from Van Richen's Guide to Ravenloft. This one I love to play because who doesn't love a spooky bit? Let's be so for real, guys. This one is all about being in tune with the spirits around us and really learning from them and learning the tales that they have to tell. This one, when you are in battle and you hit with a weapon attack, you roll on this table to see what story the spirits tell to help aid you. There's about, I believe, 2012 on the table that you roll, and there are different effects for whatever you roll. So I'll give you guys one for example here. Tale of the Adventure. For 1 minute, any creature that hits you with a melee attack takes force damage equal to a roll of your Bardic Inspiration die. So there's 12 different versions of those, all that do different things, not just different damage, don't worry. As the bards go through this college and study more and more, become more in tune with the spirits around them, more spirits will come to help them and aid them in battle, telling them more tales, letting you roll twice on the table, dealing more effects during battle. And finally, we have our second to last one. College of Swords from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Let's go. Opposite, I know this one. This is the opposite of the Eloquence Bard. This is like the sword is mightier than the pen. Still bard, so they still like talking and singing and music and stuff, but they fight with their sword. They're coming out guns blazing. Bards that go in this path, they pick a defense fighting style, and they also get a little bit something of a flourish, which they can pick every time they attack. I think when they make an attack, they can pick to do a type of flourish. They can make it a defensive flourish to help aid their AC. They could deal different slashing, which does more damage, or they can do mobile, which would let them do a little bit more damage and also get away quickly without making an attack of opportunity. I believe they also, with this flourish, get to move an additional 10 feet whenever they make an attack. So they're very much battle focused. So these flourishes, you do have to expend a Bardic Inspiration in order to use them on your turn. So as they grow in power and they study more in this college, they learn to attack twice a turn, and they also are able to use a d6 instead of expending a Bardic Inspiration. So while it might be a little bit lower of a die, you're not expending that use every single time and can still send that Bardic out to support your other players. Now we have our last one, the College of Whispers from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, a classic. The College of Whispers, the ultimate gossip. They take what they learn and they stow it away for personal gain. They are going to hide those little tidbits of information and use them against you, those gaslighting things. They're going to make their words magically toxic against you, taking psychic damage. When they use their weapons against you, they make them magically toxic against you, dealing psychic damage to you. They can make their innocent seeming words rooted in fear and make you terrorized by them. Scared. This sounds like some bitches I knew in middle school, including myself. These bards, as they grow in power and learn how to twist their words against you, they root these words in some type of dark magic, making you, if they succeed, if they charm you, they make you charm for them, but for 8 hours, which is wild. That's such a long amount of time to be charmed. Can you imagine? That would be like half of the session you could be charmed. That's so long. But those are all of the subclasses for the most part. I'm sure there's a couple more out there, but those are the ones we're going to go over today. So next up, let's talk about some magic items. All right, let's talk about some uncommon magic items. We're only going to do uncommon because this could get out of hand quickly if we didn't. But uncommon is most normally the starting magic item if you get one that DMs choose. So we're gonna go uncommon magic items. So first one is the Deck of Illusions. This can be really enhance your role playing as a bard, and there's a lot that you could do with this to help aid your persuasions and those deception checks that you're most likely going to be making as a bard. There is a lot that you can do with this deck, and you can even work with your DM if you would like to try and flavor this deck specifically to yourself. +1 weapon. I'm gonna probably say this one in every single video that we do in this series because who couldn't use a +1 weapon? Part of D&D is fighting. It's helpful to have a +1 weapon. So whichever weapon you choose, make it +1. The instrument of the bards. You would want to pick either the lute, indoor, or sitar. Don't know if I said that right. Don't cancel me. That's what's gonna do me in right there. This is great because it will give you free spells to cast. Who doesn't love free spells to cast? Let's be so real. And who doesn't love free spells? And if anyone else tries to play your instrument, it's gonna hurt them because don't touch your instrument. Every good bard knows this. Cloak of Protection, a simple one. I actually use this for a lot of my builds, not even just bards. Boost your AC. Who doesn't want that? Nice. Especially if you're starting low level. This last one, I know this is uncommon, but you can't at me. Listen, the Cloak of Billowing. It's great. It's so dramatic. All it does is when you give a speech, it billows. That's it. But it's fantastic. So think of all the role playing you could do with this. The limit does not exist with this item. Now that we have done items, let's round this out with some feats that I might start out with for a bard. First one, moderately armored. Not only can you increase your dex or strength, but you can also gain proficiency with medium armor and shields, which is going to help your AC out a ton. Actor. This is a classic for bard. It's great. You're gonna boost your charisma. You get advantage on deception and performance when you're trying to pass as somebody else. And you can mimic the sounds and voices of other people. It's great for role playing, especially if you're going full face charisma based bard, which most of them I'm assuming are charisma based. The last one I would maybe suggest is Spell Sniper. You gain an extra cantrip, you double the range for it, and you ignore half cover. It's great. Just to be clear, not just that spell, you double the range for spells, for attack spells, sorry. You gain an extra cantrip, you double attack range for spells, and you ignore half cover. 10 and 10, would recommend. It's amazing. Anyways, alright, so that is my breakdown of the bard class. I've never gotten the chance to play a bard, and I would really love to play one, especially the College of Spirits. That sounds so much fun to me. But really, any of these, I'm already thinking of great different ideas of backstories that I could be going with this. Again, I can't stress it enough. There is not one way to build a bard. Those optimized builders, great, love that for them. Does not have to be you. Do not put that stress on yourself. It's a game. You're supposed to be having fun. But anyways, besides my rant, if you guys have any cool bard builds that you've done below, put them in the comments below, please, or just any other suggestions if I missed something, or you're like, this is another great feat or item or something like that, put it in the comments below. I love reading them. I collect them. I hide them away in my little cavern, and I keep them for later when I'm going to be making characters. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did not know, bi-weekly on Thursdays, I am in a D&D campaign hosted by the great Brewsnbuttonmashing, who put this stuff below. But we stream D&D. I'm playing a barbarian. I hit things. I'm dumb. I killed squirrels. Last session, I also killed a whale. It was a whole thing. And Kundori, not a whale. They said to press the button. I pressed the button. What can you ask of a barbarian? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Shaky out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.